Observe the interaction between this static geometric lattice and the expanding web of digital light overtaking it. This illustrates the critical bottleneck in the modern enterprise. Artificial intelligence and digital capabilities are accelerating at a pace that far exceeds current human adaptability. Within these lagging organizational structures, DAF Academy identifies a specific psychological profile, the follower mindset. A follower mindset is defined by high psychological rigidity. These employees rely heavily on external direction and focus their energy exclusively on task execution rather than strategy. The AI era requires the inverse of this profile, the growth or believer mindset, characterized by personal accountability and rapid adaptation to new information. When an organization's average mindset remains at a follower baseline, the gap between human capacity and technological potential creates a ceiling on productivity. To maintain a competitive edge, leadership must stop treating mindset as an intangible trait and begin managing it as a quantifiable, engineered competency. DAF Academy engineers training environments to bridge the behavioral gap between current employees and future-ready leaders. Their methodology relies on a quantitative approach to behavioral transformation, replacing standard corporate narratives with structured data. At the center of this methodology is the NEURO-NITY framework, DAF Academy's proprietary solution for workforce modernization. This framework processes subjective behavioral shifts into measurable corporate intelligence. Resolving the workforce bottleneck starts with understanding the structural architecture of human behavior that the NEURO-NITY framework measures. The 6C model utilizes a 6-axis radar chart to map an employee's transition from a follower archetype to a believer archetype. Consciousness measures an employee's self-awareness and how clearly they understand their own intrinsic drivers and professional purpose. Character evaluates personal values and the discipline required to maintain consistent ethical behavior within the organization. Competence represents the execution layer, assessing an individual's technical capabilities alongside their soft skills. Employees operating with a follower mindset often score highly on competence, but remain stagnant in consciousness and character, resulting in a narrow behavioral profile. Without the self-awareness and integrity to adapt, technical skill alone cannot sustain an organizational transformation. These internal drivers are then measured by their impact on the external corporate environment. Connection tracks relationship strength and the ability to build trust across departments through effective communication. This links to C5, contribution, which evaluates whether an employee's output generates systemic value for the enterprise rather than just completing isolated tasks. Finally, C6, consistency, measures the behavioral discipline to maintain high-level performance over time. A fully expanded and balanced 6C profile identifies an individual as having the target growth/believer mindset. While the 6C model provides the theoretical map, the enterprise requires a mechanism to measure exactly where its workforce stands on that map. DAF Academy digitizes the 6C framework through a specific diagnostic tool, the NEURO-NITY quotient, or NQ. The NQ is a 60-item psychometric assessment designed to extract precise data points for every vector of the 6C model. These 60 nodes are then processed through the NEURIX engine. The NEURIX engine acts as an AI-powered behavioral analytics tool, calculating complex interactions between the user's responses. Standard corporate surveys are frequently compromised by employees who provide the answers they believe the organization wants to hear. The NEURIX engine counters this by utilizing smart, anti-gaming algorithms to filter out inauthentic inputs. It applies intelligent pattern recognition to secure the authentic profile integrity of every participant. The engine outputs precise metrics on critical competencies, such as workplace accountability and adaptive leadership. This process removes the bias inherent in psychological assessment, turning the invisible architecture of human mindset into actionable corporate data. The NEURO-NITY framework translates diagnostic insight into targeted operational intervention. The NEURIX engine produces a highly objective pre- and post-training needs analysis, or TNA. DAF Academy uses this dashboard to identify exact behavioral gaps within a specific workforce. These insights allow organizations to build training proposals based on data rather than administrative guesswork. This structured, data-first approach ensures that all training programs are explicitly HRD Corp compliant. Compliance and targeted proposals ensure the learning and development budget is allocated towards verifiable capability gaps. By establishing a definitive behavioral baseline, enterprise leaders can measure the direct return on investment for their training initiatives. Following training, the workforce is reassessed through the NQ and NEURIX engine to complete the operational feedback loop. This final assessment provides data-backed evidence of a behavioral shift from rigid task execution to an adaptive believer mindset. As artificial intelligence continues to advance faster than traditional human work habits, the enterprise bottleneck will only tighten for those who failed to adapt. Closing this gap requires moving past the idea that employee adaptability is a matter of chance or time. The NEURO-NITY 6C model and the NEURIX engine transform human mindset into a structured, measurable, and highly engineered organizational asset ready for the AI era.